And the last principle, and probably one of the most important principles, is diligence is man's precious possession. The word diligence means to work hard, to make painstaking efforts, to create a business plan, be devoted, be energetic. You wake up early every morning, focus yourself. The word diligence means to accomplish the work that you have set before you. And God says that whatever you do, do with all your might and all your strength and all your heart. He doesn't want us to run a race for second place. God says, run the race for the gold. So when you start your business, do everything to win. When you have done what is humanly possible, God will then do the impossible. He's going to open the doors of opportunity for you, but only when you are prepared to take on those opportunities. God will never give you more than you can handle. Therefore, you must be prepared to seize the opportunities. When I first started my fashion company, I didn't have money to attend fashion trade shows. I mean, these trade shows sell to thousands of boutiques worldwide. So it's a great platform. It's a great opportunity to showcase your designs. But some of these shows cost $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 just to attend and sell your dresses. Boutiques actually attend these trade shows from all over the world. And then you go and set up a booth and you're selling your dresses to these boutiques. When I started my company, Stop Staring, I absolutely had no money and no business knowledge. I seriously was completely reliant upon God to help me in every possible way. So here's an example of how God will open the doors of opportunity, but you have to have the diligent preparations in order to seize that opportunity. God told me to prepare for a trade show, like to go as an attendee, just to go and look and see how things were working at these trade shows. So I thought, oh, what a great idea. He also told me through a dream to prepare my collection, to get my catalogs ready, get my business cards, get order forms. And I thought, wait a minute, I don't have money to actually set up a booth. Why is God telling me to do all this? But I knew from experience to go ahead and just do what God told me. So I got the collection ready. I was sewing all the samples. I put the entire collection, I photographed it, put it into a catalog, made forms, and got ready for the trade show. Even though I knew I wasn't a vendor at this show, I was simply going as an attendee. So I get to the hotel, I set up my rack in my hotel room, lay out my catalogs and just kind of like was waiting on God. So then I go to walk around this trade show. It's like a 3 or 4 day event. And I'm at this trade show and there's thousands of boutique buyers everywhere viewing collections. And I was just admiring the booths in complete awe. There was so many beautiful collections there. I was like getting ideas and filling my head with one day I will be there to showcase my own collection. So it was very inspiring to actually be at this trade show. So while I was there at the trade show, to my surprise, I actually saw a buyer who had been already buying my dresses for several months. And she came up to me and was like, Alicia, what are you doing? Where's your booth at? And I'm like, I don't have a booth. And she's like, oh, you're just here attending? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, well, actually, I did bring my latest collection. It's up in my hotel room. And to my shock and surprise, she insisted, actually, she invited herself to go to the hotel room and see the newest collection. I was so shocked, but I knew this was the hand of God. So she came up to my hotel room later on that night, and she actually placed an order. She bought pretty much the entire collection for her boutique out in Pasadena. And I was so shocked by this, but I knew it was God. So of course I was thanking God and praising him and being like, wow, God, you knew that there was an order waiting for me. So her order was, pretty good. I think it was like around a $5,000 order, which is a pretty significant order for a girl who was sewing the dresses herself, right? This is like my first year of business. So I go to the show the next day, just as an attendee looking around, and I bump into the store owner again. Only this time, she has another boutique owner. This boutique owns a store on Melrose Avenue in LA, out in Hollywood, and he wants to see the collection. And he goes up to my hotel room that night and places another order. And I'm not kidding you guys. I must have written about 5 orders up in my hotel room that week of the trade show. I didn't have a booth. I didn't have the money to have a booth, but I listened to God when he told me to prepare the collection and get the catalogs ready. I went ahead and did it. And these store owners went to my hotel room in the evenings and placed orders. If that isn't the hand of God, I don't know what is. But those are the kinds of opportunities God will present before you when you're ready. Of course, I went back, and within 1 to 2 months, I sewed my heart out, got the orders ready, and delivered them and collected my checks. And that was the start of Stop Staring. So the following season, I actually came back to the trade show as an actual vendor. And I just remember being so tired from making so many sales. The shows were over at 6 p.m. They started at 8 a.m. You could imagine just writing order after order. I think my very first trade show, we did $250,000 in sales. I mean, that just goes to show the power of God to really boom your business. So my company went on to do trade shows all over the world. And with God backing me, I mean, we were a huge success. Biblical principle number 7, diligence is man's precious possession. And now here is my latest collection. God is moving me into the high-end world of fashion. My high-end collection, Alicia Estrada, will be my primary focus from here on out. It is God who has given me the talent to compete at the highest levels of the fashion industry. With God on my side, who can come against me? If you subscribe to my channel, you will see my day-to-day journey as I navigate into the highly competitive world of high-end fashion. By man's standards, I'm not qualified. I'm not young enough, I'm not pretty enough, and certainly not skinny enough. But God does not judge as man judges. He judges the intentions of our hearts. He knows my heart is to do his will. If he says I go, then I go. Talent comes from God. Glory be his name. God has the power in his hands, and he gives it to whom he chooses. Remember, friends, our power grows by pleasing God. Adonai, teach us your ways so that we can live by your truths. Make us single-hearted so that we can fear your name. We will thank you, Adonai, our God, with our whole hearts, and we will glorify your name forever. For your grace towards us is so great. Remember, friends, our power grows from pleasing God, for our shield comes from Adonai. Amen and amen.